So I'm with Justin Ancona. Ancona.
Yeah.
Personal training.
Yeah.
Gym owner.
Gym owner.
Where's your gym?
We're based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Nice. And what's the gym called?
It's called Elevate Worldwide, but it's Elevate 954 is what we go by. Yeah.
Nice. And how'd you get involved with the gym?
So,
first, how'd you become a personal trainer?
So I became a personal trainer. So it kind of all started when I was about a sophomore in high school. That's when I kind of, I was playing baseball. I had a shoulder injury, and I've just always been active. So when that kind of when my rotator cuff messed up on me, I was fiending for something. So I got into weightlifting, and one of my neighbors had a gym in his garage. Yeah. So that's kind of where we started, and coming from the mechanics, when I started working out, I realized how bad they actually were. And from there, I wanted to perfect it, because when it comes to weight training, mechanics are extremely important. I didn't know that back then, so I started getting these aches and pains, and I was like, what's going on? And then
were you doing the bodybuilding split, where you arms, then legs, then back, then chest?
No, actually, the first split I ever did was a lower body split, upper body split, like a rest day, run day.
That's not bad.
And then repeat it. So and actually, come to find out, it's actually better to do that. More frequency is better than intensity. So instead of attacking one muscle group every time you go to the gym, you hit chest for 20 sets and you just tear it up.
And you're sore for the next 5 days.
Yeah, and then you hit it a week later. It's actually been shown that it's less effective to do that than it would be to break your chest workout up within 2 or 3 times throughout the week. So
just less intensity, but then more frequency.
More frequency, exactly. Yeah, just kind of breaking the volume up. So so when we kind of got into the workouts in his garage there, and then actually from there, I got a membership to a big box gym. I don't want to name it.
Either LA Fitness, UFit,
or 24-hour Fitness.
Yeah.
Usually, those are generally the ones that people go to. But so I pretty much, I got a membership there, and I took everything that I was learning, and I was constantly reading and trying to figure out what the best way to train was. I started diving deep into nutrition, and all my friends kind of started looking to me for advice because I started really taking pride in it. I would be training my friends over at LA Fitness, and I said LA Fitness in there. Oh well, whoops, it's out there. I was working out at LA Fitness.
I still work out at LA.
Yeah. But so I was training my friends there, just not for money, just
not for
money. Just because they wanted to work out with me. Yeah. So I have 3 or 4 guys with me working out. It was way too much going on. But yeah, so pretty much started helping them out, and I just kind of fell in love with it, and then I actually started becoming friendly with the trainers over there. So I started asking them a million questions, just bugging them, just trying to get more knowledge. And they actually had a really good training staff back then. Surprisingly, now you go there, it's
just because they don't pay.
Well, not only that, but I just feel like fitness has evolved so much over the last 8 years that that they can't even get good trainers anymore. Just because like you said, the pay and stuff. But they just don't take it seriously, and it's pricey, so. And their business model, in my opinion, wasn't the greatest. But yeah, so I started asking these trainers questions, and then from there, it went into, I started bugging the training manager and being like, if I get my certification, will you hire me here? This is that. Well, and so I kind of started bugging him like crazy, and I got my certification, and he held up to his word. And right when I got out of high school is when I started.
So 18, 19?
I was about 19 years old, so I was kind of starting out in college, my first freshman year. That's when I got my my personal training certification, and it was nice because it was a very flexible schedule. So while I was in school, I can plan my clients out around there, and that's pretty much how I got into it. So.
And then how long did you do that for at LA Fitness?
So I worked at the big box gym for actually a good amount of time. So I would say about 3 years.
Really?
So I worked there for 3 years, and I started out, as a personal trainer. We had a staff of 12. There was 12 of us. And I was okay with not having a lot of clients at first because I was really young. I was the youngest one there. I wasn't even able to drink yet. I wasn't old enough to drink. But so I was really young, and I was okay with not having a lot of clients, and I tried my best to provide the best quality training that I knew how to do at that time. So I really took pride in it. And
so this wasn't a money thing. You didn't want to become a personal trainer because you maybe saw somebody on TV training the Kardashians. You're like, oh, I want to be like them, make a lot of money. It was just passion.
Yeah, it wasn't a money thing. It was definitely a passion thing, and it was definitely one of those things where I needed a job for college anyways. And I mean, it was something I really enjoyed to do. It was based around my hobbies, and I really liked to help people. Yeah, it was flexible. Nice. So yeah, I worked there for 3 years. I started out as a personal trainer, and from there I actually became a personal training manager. So assistant at LA Fitness. Nice. So that job duty was totally different. I was selling personal training, so I was the weekend manager. They would call it that. So I was selling personal training, and I wasn't training clients anymore, and that actually really started to take a toll on me because I didn't really love selling people on something that they didn't necessarily want, and I really started to miss the
actual work, the actual one-on-one.
Yeah, the one-on-one, the true interactions where people want to be there. You don't have to feel like you're selling them every day. They already bought into you, they believe in you, and so so I was doing that for a while. And then from there, I just didn't like it, so I wanted to go back to training.
Was it the pay, or no? Was it because you didn't like?
I was making more money.
You didn't like the sales manager.
I didn't like the way the LA Fitness had it set up. I didn't like the constant like you would get bombarded about everything.
You hit certain numbers.
Yeah, you would have goals to hit, which which isn't a big thing. But I was younger at that time too.
You were
so
21.
I was still in college. I was trying to figure everything out there.
Exactly.
So I was really busy with school, and then on top of that, I had the pressures of corporate always kind of up my ass to get things done, and I wasn't doing bad. I was doing actually pretty good, and I didn't like it. So from there, I actually transitioned back to a trainer, and I just saw I needed to get out of LA Fitness. So
in general.
Yeah, just in general.
What were the downsides of being at a big box gym like that?
So there was a lot of downsides. There was a lot of ups and downs. So downsides, obviously, the way they had their structure set up, it was 25-minute sessions.
That's it?
Yeah, so, people it's nothing. I mean, and their whole business model was you should be able to deliver a really good workout in 25 minutes, which, you can. It's possible. But, you're looking at people who need more time. They need 25 minutes of mobility. Most of the people that sign up for training, they need to be taught how to warm up the proper way. And that was the thing at LA. They told everybody, "Oh, go run on the treadmill. Just go on the elliptical." That's what they would tell them. And I knew better than that. So it was one of the things that really bothered me. Downside there. So it was 25 minutes. They paid you on a half-hour basis. So they paid you. I think it was. I don't even know. It was $6 a session.
Really?
Yeah, it was $6 per session.
$6 a session?
Yeah.
But how much was your certification? To start out, not cheap.
No, it was over $600, something like that.
And you're getting paid $6 a session.
That's how much they were paying the trainers. Yeah, so it was $12 an hour as a starting, and then
that's crazy.
Once you bumped up and you kind of started building up, they'd pay you more, but not really. They try to.
I didn't know it was that low. I thought it was like $20, $25 an hour.
No.
So $6 for a 30-minute or 25-minute session.
So it's $12 an hour, yeah.
That's
starting
insane.
off. Yeah.
And you have to pay $600 or more for the certification just to be eligible to make a little bit more than minimum wage.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So that's probably one of the main reasons why you left.
It was definitely. I was starting to feel underappreciated. So I was a trainer there throughout college, and I graduated, and then come graduation, I graduated from FIU. So after that, I was like, all right, it's time to make a move. Got to do something here.
This isn't a long-term thing.
This isn't a long-term thing, exactly. Yeah. So then, I kind of came upon Elevate because they opened up in 2013, which is when I graduated college, and it was a new gym. I stumbled upon them. I think this girl that I used to not go to high school with. I went to high school with her cousin, but I knew her really well. Yeah. she mentioned to, because they needed another trainer, another good trainer to add to the staff. So she mentioned to them that they should contact me, and from there I met one of the original owners at the time. He still is an owner actually now, and we kind of started talking from there, and that's how I ended up at Elevate. So
you never were a freelancer. You just went from LA Fitness to a more kind of boutique gym.
Yeah, so I was never a freelancer, never. But I mean, there's a lot of benefits to being a freelancer. So, yeah. So
how did it start out at the new gym? Once you moved there in 2013.
So
you guys didn't probably have a big client base,
Actually, we did have a big following.
Really?
Yeah. So actually, Elevate started out as a sports performance based gym. So we were, Elevate was responsible for training a lot of athletes at first.
Not really like weekend warriors, like mom and dad types. It was more just athletes.
It was like literally professional athletes,
like NFL players.
Yeah.
So in Davie, kind of Fort Lauderdale too. So it's by the Miami Dolphins training facility.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So one of the other owners over there had a really big following, and he built a name for himself, and he pretty much had that's how Elevate started, was a sports performance based gym, and then we saw the value later on that fitness brought to the table. So there's we saw a little bit more potential with doing fitness
and the business side of things.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are great businesses, but there was a neglected piece at first, and from there, I wasn't part of this, but one of the other owner and the fitness director at that time, they started up the fitness program, and it became successful really fast. Like, we blew up pretty quick. Like, we definitely had a name for ourselves, and we've been around for like 5 years now. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much how it got started, and then. So how did I become part of Elevate?
You started out as just a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And then you moved into a co-owner role.
No, so I wasn't a co-owner at first.
Yeah.
So I was actually just another trainer. Like I was one of the trainers over there, and I was working under my boss, Brian Humphrey. Love that guy. Still talk to him to the day. But so I was learning a whole different style of training. So I went from, like you said, typical, let's do buys tries today, and to a different type of split, and so I was learning. So I got there, and we picked up on I picked up on how different styles of training can be really beneficial. So
were you guys doing more classes like HIIT and with like battle ropes and sleds, things like that?
Yeah, so the way it was set up at first was we actually had two different programs. So one program was geared towards women, and one was geared towards men, quote unquote. So our ripped classes, which they are now, were definitely geared more towards women or people who just wanted to lose weight. And then we had another program called a flex program, which was more strength training.
To gain muscle.
Size. So exactly, gain size, muscle, strength, all that good stuff. So we had two different programs running. And from there, when our team started to kind of fall apart a little bit.
The personal training team.
Yeah, so our team started to fall apart a little bit, and we kind of had to make a decision as to what the best way to go about this was, and I came up with the idea of combining the programs, which is what we do now. So what we've been doing has been really successful. So we have certain days where we focus on conditioning. We have certain days we focus on strength, and we constantly phase the programs out. So, but did you want to know how I kind of got into the
that's all interesting because
into the owner role?
Yeah, because it seems like a big jump between just personal trainer, one of the team, to being somebody at the top that's making big decisions.
Yeah. So, all right.
Let me move the mic.
Yeah.
There we go.
No.
Yeah, that's good.
So. How I got into the owner role. So this is what happened. There was a falling out between the two owners.
Yeah.
So when that happened, it didn't. That's what I say. Our team started to kind of.
There was instability.
Instability in our team, and there was a lot of hostility, in the environment, and I was kind of only one of the only ones that kind of stuck around. The main fitness director kind of walked away. Yeah. And
how many years into the start of the business was this? Like a year or two?
I would say about 2 years, 2.5 years into it. Yeah. Wow. It's been about 2.5, 3 years actually.
Yeah.
So so when he had a falling out with one of the owners, I kind of had to step up, and it was rough at first. Like I was training every class from 6 a.m. to noon and back from 4 to 9 p.m. Like it was pretty taxing on me, and and I sat down with one of the other owners, and the opportunity just kind of presented itself, and I became part owner with him. So
awesome.
Yeah, but
that's
it's kind of
interesting.
Yeah.
Because you didn't really plan to become. Okay, I'm going to start as a personal trainer. Then I'm going to maybe work my way up, and then maybe become a partner. It kind of just happened. You stepped up to the plate when there was instability amongst the team.
Exactly. I definitely stepped up to the plate, and I had to take on really big responsibilities really fast.
At a young age.
Yeah. And I wasn't that young when this started happening. I was out of college, and I went to school. I did international business and business management. So I mean, I was kind of familiar with some of the things. You didn't have
any experience in that specific role of owning a brick and mortar type of business with a lot of overhead, things like that.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. But yeah, so I pretty much had to step up to the plate and just kind of get it done and held it together. So, but yeah,
that was 2 years ago.
I became owner about 1.5 years ago.
Oh, nice. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That to me, that's a really big step up to the plate, because you weren't just running your own personal training business with little to no overhead and no employees, things like that. Like you had to step up to the plate where you had overhead, you had employees, and you had all taxes, all this stuff that you went to school, but I think I heard somebody say this, and it was like, if you want to become good at basketball, you don't go to basketball school.
No, exactly. You gotta be in the trenches. Exactly.
LeBron never went to basketball school at Harvard. There's no such thing, because he just got better by doing it, by experiencing it. So with you on the business side of things.
And it's funny that you say that, because that was the part I had the hardest time with. I went to school. I did great. I graduated magna cum laude. I was,
good GPA.
Yeah, great GPA, and it was all business stuff. And that was actually the biggest shock. That was the hardest challenge for me is learning how to do this stuff, and I still struggle with it.
Hands-on.
I'm still learning, every day. And the funny thing is I didn't go to school for exercise science, and I know a lot of people who did, but I've been doing it for 8 years, and I come across people who have the exercise science degrees, and they don't really know how to put it into practice. So
make it actually become a business.
They know the theories. Yeah, they know the theories of it, and they know this, but they still they'll look to me like, oh, how do I program this? How do I program that? And I guide them as best as I can. But that's funny you say that, because the school doesn't necessarily make you a good business person. It doesn't necessarily make you a good trainer. It's the experience that you get. Yeah, so that's one thing I've learned.
Interesting, and there's a lot of different factors that could play into that too, because I think with when you become a doctor, there's a lot of hands-on training during school before you go out into the workforce to get you prepared to become Dr. Albran or even a dentist, things like that. But with business, there's really no. I mean, you can intern. Yeah. But it's not the same thing when you have all this pressure on you. You're the guy, and everybody's looking to you for support, and you're 24, 25, and you have to. You have overhead, and even though you're a co-owner, you have somebody else helping you out. It's still a big step, even though you graduated with great grades and you had that great school background. Did it really help? I mean, to be honest,
it did. It definitely did help. I mean,
with maybe accounting, finances, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understood the language and the terminology a lot better. But it was more of things that I had no idea.
Yeah,
that was the surprise things that came up, and that was more of the challenge. Even working in a big corporation like LA Fitness, for example, all the back end stuff was being run by not the managers. It was being done up top by the VPs or whoever takes care of that stuff. And as a small business, you need to be aware of that.
You have to know how to at least have an idea of what's going on in every single aspect. So with the taxes, with the quarterly reports, with the state income taxes, with everything.
Yeah. So that was definitely one of the biggest hurdles. It still is. I'm still learning as I go. So
that's so crazy when you have a physical location like that, because I've had a business before. I had a healthy meal delivery company.
Yeah.
And that was just that little thing alone. There's all these permits and licensing, and like state quarterly. There was reemployment taxes. Like I had to handle employees. Like it was scheduling stuff I mean, I'm still in school now, but they don't talk about any of this.
No.
Like actual hands-on, real life. Like what can I put into practice? School didn't teach me any of that.
No.
And so especially you owning a physical location like that, it's way more difficult than somebody like me who has a digital marketing company where I don't need an office. I don't really need employees. Like I could contract people. There's like little to no overhead. So if it fails, then it's like, okay, I didn't put that much money into it. But with you,
it's
like,
scary.
It's more scary because you probably had to put a bigger financial investment.
Oh yeah. And the initial loan that we put in 5 years ago, we still pay monthly. Mm-hmm. So that's always
with interest.
With interest, yeah. So it's things like it's definitely scary when you have something of that magnitude, to take care of, and you have to sign a lease for space, and it's just a whole different ball game.
Whole different ball game.
Yeah, whole different ball game.
You're pretty much it's like this or fail.
Yeah.
There's really no in between. Like, oh, I did it for 6 or 8 months, it didn't work out, I'm gonna do something else. It's like no, you still have to pay that back.
You're in there, exactly.
The lease is for a few years, and it's just a totally different level.
Yeah, but it does push you to the. It definitely makes you a better, business owner, better person in general. I think it builds character for sure.
I think that's true. It builds character.
It's rough every day. Like I'm going through it for the most part. It's never easy. Like I'm up early. I get home at 10:30 at night every single night, and it's a grind.
But you love it though.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I do.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
Like business people I talk to, even though it's more hours, more risk, more stress, as long as they love what they're doing and they're passionate about it, then they're willing to take on those, what some people would say cons are. They would take them on just because they love what they're doing and they're helping people.
Oh, yeah.
I think for most people, it's worth it. If you break it down like that, it's worth it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, entrepreneurship, I don't think is for everybody.
Definitely not.
But
No.
I think that I think everybody needs to have that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, even if you aren't an entrepreneur. Like if you're working for a company, be an asset to that company. Like in some way, and that really pays off big. And that's kind of how I kind of got into the spot I'm at now. Is that even though it wasn't my company, it wasn't owned, like I was kind of I went like I said, I went through it. I was tired. I was training all the class. I didn't own the company.
Yeah.
But I felt a sense of pride and I had the relationships with the clients.
You weren't just going through the motions.
Yeah, and I didn't want, like, I could have been like, this is too much, like, let me walk away. And then, I could have done that easily, and but I realized I needed to step up and take on to that next responsibility. So
awesome. And how many clients do you guys have now?
How many members do we have right now? I haven't checked. I would say it's about up to 150.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are monthly.
Our goal is 200 right now. Yeah, 150, and that's not with personal training clients. That's just our general membership.
Oh, so for the classes.
Yeah, for our groups. And personal training is separate. So.
And what do you guys do with marketing? Because I know a lot of the small businesses that I talk to for my marketing company that are in a physical location, before they open the business, they plan, okay, I want these chairs and these mats and these bikes and all like this furniture, things like that. But then they don't really focus on, okay, like how are people going to get in the door? Like with marketing.
Yeah.
Like they don't really think, okay, we need to spend X amount per month on this, X amount per month on that, just to promote the business. Because like for a movie, a company could spend $130 million to make a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Then to market that movie, they spend another 100.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could have the best movie, the best gym, the best barbershop, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
So with you guys, how do you guys bring in the most clients?
Honestly, Instagram.
Social media.
Yeah, and we don't spend a lot of money on marketing, to be honest. I mean, and in the world we live in today, it's you don't need to spend a lot of money on marketing. You just need to know how to provide value. So, and that's one thing that I've been really trying to work on lately is
on your social media?
on my personal one, and on Elevate's itself. Just trying to get quality content, like making sure you're staying on top of your Instagram stories, and especially if you have a built-up following. Like we have like
you guys have a solid following.
Yeah, we have like 10,000 followers.
Too. I checked out the page.
Yeah.
You see some pages with 15,000 followers, but they get like 50 likes.
Oh yeah,
75 likes. It's obvious that they bought followers.
No, yeah, exactly.
You guys have really good following, in that sense, like of just the raw number of followers, but the engagement is a good percentage.
Yeah, so we kind of promote the family atmosphere thing. That's kind of how we are. Yeah. So everybody there is family to me. So, but yeah, so when you have like a decent amount of a following, like, it doesn't cost you that much to not only retain but to get more people in. So you just have to make sure that you're staying on top of the Instagram stories and
kind of showcasing what's going on at the gym.
Yeah, showcasing the atmosphere that's going on there, getting quality photos, good videos. I think that's huge for people to do.
Yes,
huge. You have to provide free content for your audience. So.
Especially if you have a gym. And like, let's say you have a fitness facility, you can promote maybe today this is a shoulder exercise for today. Like if you want to do splits, so let's say you have your page filled with shoulder exercises, biceps, triceps, calves, legs, and I don't know your page. I go on your page and I see, okay, dang, like they have every single body part. Like that's great, valuable content. I'm gonna follow them. I'm gonna tag my friends. Like, oh, we're gonna do these shoulder exercises at the gym today. You show yourself doing the exercises in the video. Little things like that. Like that's how there's some chiropractors that are doing the same thing, but with at-home stretches and mobilization. Like this guy, Dr. Jacob Harden, I believe. He has like 550,000 followers on Instagram. I don't even think he's ran a single ad.
He's a physical therapist, right?
Physical therapist and chiropractor, I think.
Okay, nice. Move You, they're hilarious. They provide great content.
They probably didn't even spend any money on the actual social media side of things, like Instagram ads, Facebook ads.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to.
They're just providing so much value. I saw their following, like Dr. Jacob Harden. I've been following him since he was at like 20,000, 25,000. And then once he got to 100, it just skyrocketed. Like 200, 300, 400,000 people following him. And just having that strong brand to the point where if I ever need a chiropractor, like let's say I'm a rich person that lives in Texas, and I follow him and I look at his posts every day. If I'm rich, I need a chiropractor, I have a back issue. I might as well just go fly out to him and he'll fix me up.
Exactly.
It's obvious that he knows what he's talking about.
And that's the thing. You got building credibility.
Credibility and exposure. I mean, every chiropractor probably knows who he is now.
No, for sure. And, like you said, he probably does everything out of his house or, wherever he's at.
It's maybe costing him to edit his videos if you pay somebody a few $100 a month. You know how much he's making just by providing that value?
That's the thing.
An insane amount. Insane amount. So with a gym like yours, doing something like that would be amazing. That's kind of what we're working on right now. And also another thing, too, is I'm working on creating, like, free guides. For PDFs, things like that.
Just PDFs that people can kind of go on our website and download this free guide to nutrition.
Near their email.
Exactly. So just kind of creating free guides for people, making it look nice, and providing just quality free information is huge, So that's the next step we're trying to take right now. So
nice. That's awesome. So you're trying to get to 200.
That's the number that we want to be at.
Nice.
So
have you been seeing growth?
Yes.
In the past few months?
Yes.
And you've been getting most of your clients through Instagram?
Most of our clients come through Instagram and word of mouth. So our clients, like I said, they're like family. So, they always want to bring in their brother, sister, cousin, friend. So constantly trying to bring new people in. So
nice. I feel that with most gyms like yours that are well set up and it has that family atmosphere, once people get in the door, it's done. They're going to stay. They're going to love it. I think just getting people in the door, and maybe not for your gym, but for most gyms, it's
that's
an issue.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Getting people in the door, because it can be intimidating. Like, you walk into a family-like atmosphere, you're not part of the family yet. It's definitely something that people kind of like get a little nervous and intimidated about. And we are definitely more of an intense type of gym. Like, our clients look like they're in great shape. Because they are. So our clients are in good shape. It can be a little intimidating walking in, but once you get to know our trainers are great, our staff is awesome. You'll feel like family in no time. It's just kind of, that's what we kind of promote over there. So.
And then, so going back to first starting out as a personal trainer, what are the biggest mistakes that you made your first, like, let's say 2 or 3 years? Like, was it on the business side of things? Was it on maybe the client relationship side? Maybe was it you weren't studying enough about your craft? What were the few mistakes that could help somebody that's just starting out in personal training?
Okay, so definitely so if I can give advice to them.
You can give advice, You've been doing it for 8 years.
So if I can give advice, I would say, 1, work on your business skills. Make sure you look the part. You don't want to be because you see a lot of out of shape trainers, like like
LA Fitness. I see guys telling people that are in better shape than them, like, oh, you gotta fix your form. Yeah, let's go to the treadmill. I'm like, you need to go on the treadmill.
But there's other things too. Like, I used to work with some trainers that would walk in with a McDonald's bag. I'm like,
ooh, that's not a good look.
Just a terrible look. Like, don't be that trainer. Number one, don't be like, oh, I have a fast metabolism.
Pretty much practice what you preach.
Yeah, I have a fast metabolism, so I can eat McDonald's. No, throw that out the window. Like, you're a health coach. Like,
disclaimer: I had McDonald's this morning.
Oh man,
it was delicious.
All right.
You're saying that, I'm like, definitely.
Right.
But I mean, nuggets, fries, apple pies, it's delicious.
Yeah, but when you're a trainer, and you're giving advice,
your job is to give advice and guide people on being healthy.
People look up to you.
It's a bad look.
Yeah. So, you wanna make sure that you look the part, you act the part, be professional always. Don't
be too friendly.
You can be it's important to be friendly, but make sure you have a clear line.
Yeah.
Because a lot of trainers cross that line.
Especially with a male and a girl.
Yes.
Type of relationship.
Cross that line way too much. I've seen that in the past. So that's number one, working on the business side of things, market yourself.
Like client acquisition, promotion on social media, things like that.
Yeah, so provide free content.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you are a freelance trainer and you don't have a gym pushing clients your way.
That's a great point.
The number one thing for you to do is make sure that you build your social media up,
build the brand.
Provide free content, make sure that you provide that credibility that we were talking about. So that when clients do look for a personal trainer, like, oh, I follow this guy, he's great. Let me go see him.
Exactly.
So make sure your social media is. So you gotta become a tech guy here a little bit.
Exactly.
Like, if you don't know how to do it, like, I'm not very good when it comes to the tech, but I've learned a lot over the last, because I really started to practice and learn about it about 4 months ago. Way too
a little bit late.
Yeah, a little late. So I was a little late to that party.
At least you started and you're doing it though.
Yeah, but so that's one of the big things you do. Like, for some of the personal trainers out there, I know that take the mirror selfies. Like, that's not going to get you clients.
It's not going to get you clients.
Like, it's not going
to show that you know what you're talking about in your specific field.
No, like, and that's the thing, is you don't have to be the most ripped person in the world, or you don't have to be the most, you don't have to be a bodybuilder.
You don't have to be super good looking.
No, I mean, no, but you need to live a healthy lifestyle, and you need to show people that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, I think...
you do that through free content.
Oh yeah, free content. Free content is the avenue to do that. It's the only avenue.
You made a great point, because you don't have ties to a brand like LA Fitness or YouFit or 24 Hour, where everybody knows those gyms. So when they walk in, they assume that the trainers have a certain level of competence.
Yeah.
But if you're a freelance personal trainer, some people might have a little more of a reservation towards maybe your skills, your expertise. But if you provide that free, valuable content.
Yeah, if they go on your Instagram page and see, like, whoa, this guy knows what he's talking about, like,
Exactly.
and they see that, then
it'll set you apart from the crowd.
It'll set you apart for
Definitely.
sure. So, but we've got some water here.
Definitely. But yeah, I think I think the client acquisition side of things is really important, because if you decide to start your own personal training business, or even just become a gym owner or a freelance personal trainer, I think figuring out, okay, how can I consistently get clients, get leads? I think that's a big issue for a lot of people, because just like with chiropractors, doctors, they don't go to school for business.
Yeah.
They don't go to school, okay, how do I get clients? Do I do email marketing? Do I do Facebook ads? Do I do direct mail? Like, that's not in their mind. In their mind is, okay, I know how to fix back pain. I know about the spine. I know about the neck, things like that. So I think the same thing with personal trainers, and they're kind of in the same boats, where, like, they may focus so much on their craft that they're the best personal trainer chiropractor, but nobody knows them, because they don't know how to market their business and get people in the door. So I think client acquisition could be a big thing for people just starting out.
Yeah, client acquisition is huge, especially if you're just starting out, because you got to get clients to retain them. So, but once you build it up, if you're not the best business person in the world, as long as you are an effective communicator and people like you and all that good stuff, then you can build up a pretty solid client base, and they'll stick with you if you provide that value for them.
I feel like with personal training, and just from what I've seen, the retention rate seems pretty high.
Yeah.
Like with my brother-in-law, he's a personal trainer. Every client that he's gotten so far, only maybe out of 10, maybe 1 left.
Yeah, I mean, it seems
like they're, like, especially if you have a good personality, you're friendly. It seems like the retention rate is pretty high. But most people have issues with getting people to actually retain.
Oh yeah.
It's actually just not even just the personal training, just most businesses that are specialized on health, things like that. They just focus on the health side of things, but they don't understand the business side.
No, exactly. And that's the thing. I have some of the clients I've been training for since I started. So usually retention isn't the hardest thing in the world, as long as like I said, you're providing value and you're making their experience good. So you definitely want to make sure you take care of that. But yeah, another piece of advice that would be huge is communication skills. Like I said, because that's going to help with retention. Definitely. So I kind of touched on that a little bit, but from there, squash the ego. That's one of the biggest problems I see with most health coaches, personal trainers.
So what do you mean squash the ego?
Squash the ego, man. So yeah, you gotta let it go. So you don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. You can always learn more. So don't think that your way is the only way. Don't think your way is the right way, because there's 10 different right ways. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of trainers, especially starting out, need to realize. If you see something that you're not familiar with, learn. Even if you don't want to use it.
You have Google, you have YouTube. Nowadays it's crazy that people, they aren't at least somewhat well versed in the different diets, different workout, exercise, different workout maybe methodologies. If you're a personal trainer, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can learn anything. So you see something you hear about for example, let's throw out just a hot topic right now, a ketogenic diet, for example, or intermittent fasting. Instead of knocking it, you don't know anything about it, read about it. Be like, oh, these are the benefits. Yeah, test your body. Yeah, that's one thing I recommend too, is just trying things different, trying different things out.
Different workouts. Maybe try HIIT, maybe try powerlifting, try more of the bodybuilding split, see what works for your specific body type.
Yeah, you need to be very versatile. Another thing too, another gym that's huge right now that's promoting these functional tools and stuff is the On It Academy. Yep. And kettlebell training and steel club training. It's pretty new.
Maybe the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, steel mace. They've been around for a while, and they do a really good job. But yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, what the hell is that?
Awkward.
It's awkward. What's that steel mace that they're using? I remember some guy come in to try to sell us steel clubs. When we were first starting out, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Exactly. You're just using dumbbells.
Yeah, exactly. Dumbbell, barbell, the traditional stuff. But, I've really embraced these functional tools, and it's made me a better trainer because of that. Instead of, it's humbling though. You pick up a new piece of equipment, you have no idea how to use it. And, the first instinct is to be like, oh, no, forget about that. That's stupid.
Ego.
Yeah, because the ego.
You
so
don't know how to use it, you're not willing to learn.
Yeah. So
and just start from ground floor.
Yeah, squash the ego. Yeah. So I think that's a huge tip for a lot of trainers, and also, especially if you're just starting out, go work for a good trainer. If
learn from them.
Yeah, you never want to be the best trainer in the room.
Just you don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
You don't, because then you have nothing to learn, right? So that's one of the major keys too. Is go work with or for other trainers that have been doing it for a long time, where you can learn from. And that's gonna make you a better trainer, business person, whatever it is you're doing.
That's not even just personal training. That's pretty much
that's everything.
It could be anything. Could be if you want to get into digital marketing, intern for a guy that's kind of just starting out, maybe similar to you, but and the dog is barking. I don't think it'll pick it up.
No,
when I did a podcast, I had a guest on, and he's he's my mentor. He's serious. The dog started barking. I'm like, yeah.
It's all right.
Actually, the sound doesn't pick it up that much. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
But what was I saying? What were you saying?
We were talking about squashing the ego.
Squashing the ego, yeah. Basically, it applies to every single industry. To where even real estate. That's what I had in my mind.
Yeah.
Real estate's where if you want to become a real estate agent, I have learned from people that are involved in real estate for 15, 20 years. Just go work for somebody else that's already successful and learn what they do to get clients. Learn how do they deal with disputes, how they deal with certain contract situations, because they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
So once you learn from them, then you could even maybe intern for them, work for free, and then they are kind of indebted to you because you're working for free, and you don't want to have the kind of transactional life to where okay, I do this for you, you do this for me. But if you unconditionally want to help them and just be a part of their business, be a part of their process, then they're going to pay back to you somehow.
Yeah, it's all relationship building.
So same thing with personal training, it could be like.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so those are some of the tips I I would definitely give. Is there any other good ones that I'm not hitting here? Let me see. Let me think.
Well, I think just with the ego too. I think with personal trainers, they might be so stuck to one specific diet. So it's like, oh, me, I only do macro counting. Or okay, as long as you hit your certain macros, then you're set. And some people might be like, oh,
fit your macros.
Well, you need to eat only paleo, only like brown rice once in a while, only broccoli and chicken. And some people might be like, oh, eat ketogenic. Some people might say carnivore, only eat meat every day. Some people might say intermittent fasting. So I think just from my experience with personal trainers and people involved in fitness, they're so stuck to their one ideology with diet especially.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that
they're not willing to kind of adapt and try different things.
Oh yeah, and that's huge, huge, and that's something that I've had to break away from myself, because I'd be the guy eating 6, 7, 8 meals a day, and it would be way too much. Yeah. It's unsustainable. Like I didn't feel good. Like
really?
Yeah, I was and so just kind of starting to experiment with things. So I tried the paleo myself, which I enjoy. I've tried. I've experimented with fasting. So I've done intermittent fasting. I've done a prolonged fast. I'm going to do another one again. I actually really enjoy that.
Ketogenic was probably the worst I've ever felt in my life.
Really? So you probably got the keto flu then.
It was the worst I've ever felt because I'm a slim guy. I'm more of an ectomorph, like taller, leaner, skinnier. So I need carbs. But I was just eating like steak, cheese, butter, and avocado all day, and with like a little bit of broccoli because there's still carbs in there.
Oh yeah.
And I literally was dreaming of white rice and
that's so funny.
Dreaming of bread. Like it was the worst. I only did it for 2 weeks, so maybe some people said, "Oh, you didn't give your body enough time to get in that ketosis state."
Yeah, but, I mean, you definitely probably hit ketosis, but your body probably didn't adapt to being in ketosis. So that's probably what the issue was.
I think that's your body type.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, for example, what I did was I didn't experiment with it for long. I did a 24-hour fast just to get straight into ketosis, just so like I can just roll from there. And I just did a whole week of it. And 2 days in, I felt confused. Days I got the keto flu, what they call it, foggy. So I think I pretty much got the keto flu. But I did feel good. I mean, my workouts definitely suffered a little bit because my body is probably used to using glucose as its main source of energy, and it wasn't used to the ketones floating around in my body, so my workouts weren't that great. But other than that, my other side of it, the energy felt great, and it was just a cleaner feel for me. Nice. But yeah, I think trainers need to see what it feels like to kind of experiment with everything. And right now I'm taking a plant-based nutrition course. I'm not a vegan.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a vegan, but I definitely want to learn so I can help people how to
realistically, that's probably the best diet. Because I've tried a lot of different ones, and I've actually done research on ketogenic, carnivore, plant-based, and just the research kind of, like, even if you ask a lot of doctors, it seems like plant-based just overall is the best for your long-term health. I don't know how it affects athletic performance in the short term. Yeah. So that could be something, but what do you think on that?
Oof.
Because you're taking the course right now.
Yeah.
And right now I'm doing more of it's bulking season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
always bulking season.
So
summer, bro. It's
I'm kind of just eating, a lot of carbs. It's like the opposite of paleo. A lot of carbs. Yeah. Good amount of meat, good amount of vegetables. But when I was on plant-based, I felt really good. So I was just eating beans and vegetables all day.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you though that the individual variance between people. So when I tried doing a couple of days of vegan, I did not feel good. Yeah. Yeah, so it was really rough for me.
I think protein could be the main issue.
Yeah.
These beans really don't even have that much protein.
Yeah, see, the thing is that the argument with people who advocate for a whole food plant-based diet is that they call it they have two different allowances. There's the effective allowance, which is 0.5 to 0.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Not per pound.
That's
per
low.
kilo. It's pretty low. So I mean,
so if you're trying to gain muscle.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's they have the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, which is a little bit higher, which is I think it's 0.8. Yeah. 0.8 grams per kilogram.
So how many pounds does that come out to? Probably
I mean, we can do the math. I think I did the math. So for me, I'm at 182.
Yeah. swole.
No, I'm a little guy. I used to be a lot heavier than that. So when it was 182, I believe it was around, like, the max that it would allow was like 65 grams
a day
of protein per day.
Forget that. That's crazy.
So yeah,
it's like a meal and a half.
But like you said, it's good for certain things and it's not good for certain things.
It depends on maybe your athletic goals too.
Yeah,
if
so
you're a runner or a cyclist, where you can eat a lot of carbs and you're not focused on your muscle density and the size, then it could be, you don't need that much protein.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. Like, when it comes to performance, I don't think you're gonna get the effects you want from a whole food plant-based diet. But like you said, for longevity and for just overall health, possibly would be the best.
Yeah, because you can't go wrong with eating vegetables all day.
Yeah. I mean, it depends though. Like, some people won't respond good to it.
That's true.
I mean, I've heard people that felt horrible on a diet like that. So it's so individualized, and it's something that people need to either experiment with or consult like a physician with. So
exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely good for trainers to be well versed in the different types of diets and understand how they work.
Like me, who maybe wants to gain muscle, like, you can kind of it's bulking season for you, so you can eat you can eat Chipotle, and you can maybe eat a lot of rice, things like that, to just get your weight up, get the calories up. But with somebody else, you're gonna be like, maybe try the ketogenic if they're shorter and rounder. Depends on the body type.
Yeah, it just depends on how internally your body's working.
Sure.
So I mean, and that's kind of ultimately what it comes down to. Like, you got to find what's best for you, what's most sustainable for you, and like most people like try to punish themselves with their diets. Like, it shouldn't be like that. So
you want something that's more sustainable long term
for you, sustainable
crash diets. Where the juicing
that's
diets,
a whole nother.
The juicing diets are crazy because they lose a lot of weight. People that do like just juices for I think 21 days, something crazy like that. They're losing all this weight because they're only taking in 1,100 calories a day.
Probably less than that.
Just by doing a few juices a day.
Now there's the issue with that now is, so let's say you're trying to lose weight and you're used to eating 2,500, 3,000 calories a day. Let's say, throw that number out there. Like, I want to lose weight, so you go on a 21-day juice cleanse. What do you think your body's gonna do when you cut the calories by
half?
Way more than that. So some people will cut those calories down to, like you said, 1,000 calories per day just to get ready for a cruise. Your body's gonna adapt to that really fast, and what happens when your body adapts to that? It becomes more efficient, which means your metabolism slows down. So,
and then once you get off the cleanse and you start eating food again,
blow back up.
Exactly. You're probably gonna gain more weight after.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Sustainability. So, studies have linked eating less to better health. So, I mean, if you're capable of eating 1,200 calories a day and you eat natural, healthy foods, it's actually probably better for your health. But from a pure metabolism standpoint, it's probably better for you to not fluctuate so much. It's good to, for example, if you want to bulk, you don't need to increase your calories by that much, so you can bump it up by 200, 300 calories and your body will put on some muscle, and then you cut them back down. You don't need to flood your body with excess calories, excess protein, and that's one of the big things that that they're teaching you in the plant-based nutrition course, is that when you flood your body with these things, it's kind of detrimental for your long-term health. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So if there's one specific piece of advice that you can give, not just to personal trainers, but to the majority of America, who, the obesity rate I think is up from 2%. I don't know. I don't fact check, but
don't fact check.
Don't fact check.
Don't check that out.
It was in around 1960 to 70. The obesity rate in America was around 2%. The obesity rate. Now, I believe it's at 27% of all America is obese. It might be even a little bit on the low end. So for those people, and the most of America that wants to lose weight, there was one little thing that they can do just to start today that can get them on the right track.
I mean, if you're obese, then it's more than just one little thing. Unfortunately, it's a lifestyle, and unfortunately, a lot of people have been marketed to, and they just
quick fixes.
They're stuck in a really bad lifestyle. So it takes more than just one little piece of advice to get them out of that.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle change. and that's never easy. So that's why you still have so many people that are so unhealthy, that have so many health issues, that never pull out of it because they're just so like embedded in that lifestyle that they can't get out of it. So, I mean, the typical advice would be to say,
where could they start though?
Where could they start?
Would they start with nutrition, or would they start with exercise?
I would start with, I wouldn't go crazy with exercise. I don't think it's necessary for you to go kill yourself. I think nutrition is always going to be the first answer. And from there, increasing activity level. So that doesn't mean you have to go work out hard.
You don't have to go run 10 miles.
You know, go walk your dog 5 times a day. Like, you know, go take a bike ride out. Enjoy outside. You know,
steady. Just don't try to go, because that's what a lot of people do. They gain a little weight. They're like, all right, I'm gonna go back in the gym.
Don't go balls to the wall.
Then they go balls to the wall. Then they get injured. Then they gain weight. And it's just an ongoing cycle.
Yeah. So, you know, for people who are obese or, you know, really overweight, the best thing for them to do would be to start with nutrition. You know, like, do your research. Like, don't eat your 100-calorie snack packs, because that's not going to help you out. Like, it's still processed foods. It's still horrible. I mean, you know, like, you have a bigger problem than just, let me just cut my calories. No, you have to eat healthy whole foods. Like, you know, that's where you kind of gotta go to from there.
So fruits, vegetables, lean meats.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, you know, take a look at what your diet is now.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, how can I take out everything that's processed? I think that's the first step, and just throw it out and start over. So that would be the first piece of advice I would give to someone.
I like that. Just don't eat anything processed.
So if you can get rid of that, you'll start.
McDonald's?
No McDonald's.
No McDonald's. But, like, no fries.
No fries.
No nuggets.
No nuggets.
No apple pies.
No apple pies.
Come on, man.
Unless it's like made like, you know, like good. Like, you can still make apple pie healthy, kind of.
Honestly, if you're gonna make apple pie healthy, don't make it at all.
Right, but you can make it with whole, good ingredients, and you know, like.
I love when people, like, they try to make healthy alternatives where, like, oh, this is a healthy brownie. I'm like, just eat a brownie, and then, like, it depends on where you're at in your fitness. Like, you can maybe think about it like money in the bank. Like, let's say somebody overweight, they're in debt and they owe money. So maybe they don't have room to spend on this, meaning like, oh, eat that brownie or eat that pizza. But in somebody that's been working out steadily for years and eats healthy, then maybe they have a little more room to spend on, you know.
No, for sure. Like, I mean, definitely enjoy your life. Like, you know, like, I don't think that's ever.
Don't be too restrictive.
Yeah, don't be too restrictive. Like, you have to enjoy what you're doing. Like, for me, like, I would not be happy eating a processed pizza. Like, I was like, just you know, it just wouldn't make me happy. I'd feel guilty going for it. You wouldn't enjoy it. I wouldn't enjoy it. So why even do it for me? But yeah, so that's the thing, is that I just feel like the reason why obesity is so big in America is
prevalent.
You know, so prevalent is that, you know, we've been marketed a lifestyle, and the government and, you know, the industry, and they just try to cut corners, man. They try to make food as cheap as possible, and by making it as cheap as possible, they're effectively, like, genetically modifying things. And that's why I say it's never okay to eat, like, processed foods, because you don't even know where that's coming from. Like, you know, you don't know what they did.
You don't know the chemicals. You don't know the ingredients.
Yeah, it's poison, obviously. Like, you know, like, the cancer rates, and it's just that's one thing that, you know, like, people need to really start to be aware of. You know,
it causes inflammation.
Oh yeah.
Which is the main cause of most diseases, right?
Yep. Yeah. It is. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the one piece of advice.
I feel that's really effective. Yeah. It's simple, but just don't eat processed foods.
Yeah. Just
no McDonald's, no pizza, no brownies. But you can eat apples. You can eat fruits like bananas, berries. You can eat vegetables.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you want to eat pizza, just I mean, make sure it's, like, made with good stuff. Like,
and keep it, like, you know, not every day, or not every Friday. Keep it every, like, 2 or 3 weeks, things like that. It'll make a difference.
Yeah, whatever you enjoy, you know.
Definitely. Good stuff. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it. Great stuff. And where can they find you?
Oh, so
Instagram.
Yeah, if you can follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name is Justin_Azzey, Azzey. Our gym's Instagram is at Elevate954.
I love the name.
Yeah,
it's simple.
Simple.
Great stuff. Thanks for being on, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Good.